Welcome back. In November, voters in San Diego County will be asked to decide Measure A. All right, let's take a look. We've got a lot to go through here. Measure A is Sandag's half-cent increase in the sales tax. Now, that is expected, here we go with the second part of it, to generate about $18 billion over 40 years. And if you look at this next one, the tax would fund highway and transit projects. These are just three of the things that it's going to do. The fourth one also requires a 2/3 vote to get passed. Now, here's the big deal on this thing. It has some opponents and it has some supporters. So let's look at that right now if we can. And here's who they are. They include Councilmember Todd Gloria and County Supervisor Ron Roberts. Most of the opponents are part of the Quality of Life Coalition made up of the Climate Action Campaign. And of course, you can see here the Climate Action Campaign includes the Sierra Club, the Bike SDs, Democrats for the Environment of Action Committee, League of Conservative Voters, the California Nurses Association, and the Environmental Health Coalition. Those are just a few. Mayor Kevin Faulconer is also a part of that Sandag board, but here's a clincher. He opposes it. Legal briefs are going to be filed in Superior Court on Monday to strike language in the ballot that opponents claim is misleading. They say it does a lot more harm than good. KUSI Steve Bosch breaks it all down for us right now.
Alan, a number of environmental justice groups and climate change advocates are marshaling their forces to defeat this tax increase. And leading the campaign is the Quality of Life Coalition. The opponents claim language in the ballot measure makes promises that are not backed up by funding, such as improving water quality.
There is nothing in Measure A that guarantees funds for water quality, for cleaning up polluted runoff, but they claim that it does.
Attorney Ricardo Ochoa of the Quality of Life Coalition says the measure claims there will be fair reductions for students, seniors, and the disabled.
There's nothing in the measure that guarantees that. The only thing there is in the measure is the ability for local cities, if they want to use some of their money for that, but there's no requirement.
The opponents want the court to strike this language as deceptive.
If we convince the court that they are in fact misleading, the court has the power to either strike those portions of the arguments or rewrite them.
Beyond the language, opponents claim Sandag is perpetuating a failed transportation model.
This measure, unfortunately, perpetuates that practice of freeway widening. It's going to perpetuate emission of greenhouse gases and climate change and putting pollution into disadvantaged communities.
But Measure A says the largest share of funding, 42%, will go toward public transit, such as the Purple Line from the South Bay to Kearny Mesa, and only 14% goes to freeway widening. Attorney Ochoa says Sandag is engaging in creative accounting.
Excluding from the percentages the money that's going for the local infrastructure projects, for example, which they have indicated to us most cities are going to use on roads.
The city of San Diego has an aggressive climate action plan that's focused on reducing greenhouse gases. Ochoa claims Measure A jeopardizes the goals of that plan.
We're not going to be able to meet those goals in the City of San Diego's Climate Action Plan with the passage of this measure because it's investing far too much on polluting transportation methods. If we are going to impose a regressive sales tax on our communities, we really need to make sure that this tax is meeting the needs of our communities.
In 2004, voters approved a half-cent Transnet tax over 20 years. Sandag says the sales tax is needed because our population will increase by 30% by 2050, creating an $18 billion funding gap for needed projects. Now, labor is also opposed to this because there is no provision for a project labor agreement requiring good wages and benefits, nor is there a guarantee of local hires for these projects.
Now, Donna Fry has a similar suit because of language issues with the Chargers ballot measure. When does all that get resolved?
Has to be pretty soon. They both have to be completed by September 14th. That's a week from today. And I know the attorneys on both sides are going to be before the judge on Monday and Tuesday with their briefs, and the judge will make a decision on Wednesday. I suspect the same holds true for Donna's challenge. This ballot language has to be in the hands of the registrar by Wednesday.
All right, so movement.
Okay, so we will know then what the language says before November.
Or it's gone, right?
Or it's
one
gone.
or the other.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Stu.